Is this your doing, Vince McMahon? Is this your bright idea? Well, that's why this company's in the damn shape it's in, because of bullshit like this. Oh, there is so much to unpack here, so let's get right to it. I'm John Renton with my review of WWE Extreme Rules 2021. They might as well have called it Extreme Enforcement of the Rules. They had one match end via dreaded roll-up. Oh my god, how extreme. They had one match end via DQ. How fucking extreme. They did get some extreme shit in the main event, and then they really fucked it up. They managed to out WCW 2000. That's really hard to do. That is a worse ending than AEW Revolution 2021. And I shit all over that, and I still don't think it was very good. But man, that looks like a great goddamn finish compared to whatever that fucking horseshit was. They managed to fuck this up so goddamn bad when there was some really good goddamn wrestling on this show. And that's the frustrating thing. That's the really goddamn frustrating thing. So actually, before I get too far into this review, I probably should prepare myself for that. And there's gonna be some praise. There's also gonna be some scorn, because my fucking goodness, every goddamn time this company can do something good, like on this show, even though Extreme Rules was in name only until, again, we got to the main event, there was some good stuff. There was some good pacing. The talent were really going all out, despite the fact that this card really was just kind of meh. There were quite a few matches that we had already seen. They stepped it up, and the talents really did do a whole lot of good shit. There was some really good wrestling and some really good storytelling. And then they would basically shoot themselves in the goddamn foot. Actually, they decided to carry Von Erich their goddamn foot. They got in an accident. They got it all repaired and everything. It took a bit, but they finally got it back together. And then they crunched up all that shit, and they had to get that foot amputated. And then they kept stumbling around on all this, and this is really goddamn graphic. My whole point to this is they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They didn't have a goddamn clue what they were doing by the end. And man, they managed to actually get to the point where it's like, wow, I didn't think that they were going to do worse shit than when they oversaturated the stuff with The Fiend or Alexa Bliss, and this actually was worse because there was some real talent here and a real chance to do something where you didn't overly gimmick something, and they overly fucking gimmicked it to the point that I just had to laugh. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha, ha 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 ha. Oh, I swear that if WWE wrestling in general was not just, ingrained in my blood, if it wasn't like, flowing through my veins, it's really bad to inject wrestling into your veins, by the way, folks. Don't try to pull a Barney, just hook it to my veins. Don't inject matches or wrestling companies into your veins. One, it's nigh impossible. You can't really do it unless you're on copious amounts of drugs, and also don't do drugs, kids. So anyway, what do you think of this show? Let me know in the comments. So they're in Columbliss, Ohio. Had to really work hard on that one. Ohio does have a rich history of wrestling. You can go back and check out the territory stuff. And the panel was Kayla Braxton, Booker T, Kevin, not Seamus Patrick, Rosenberg, let's hear it for Rosenberg, and JBL. Poor Kayla, who tends to have some questionable views on Twitter, but still has a bubbly personality and is having to work with Booker T, who, maybe Triple H was right about him all those years ago, because my fucking goodness, Booker T has just continued to torpedo his own goddamn career to the point that I don't really want to hear from Booker T anymore. And yeah, he had a rough upbringing, and he did have to wait a while to become WCW champion. But my fucking goodness, Booker T is really having some goddamn bad opinions. So anyway, Kevin Kirkpatrick, as I'm going to call him, called Carmella DeVille. If she won't over 10, then who will? She looks like the girl from Final Destination 3, the tanning bed, Carmella DeVille. Really had to work hard at that one. By the way, take a look at that shirt back there. Drew Barrymore screaming. That's pretty much me through half of this pay-per-view. Because again, anytime they would get some momentum, what they do? They decide, again, to carry Von Erich their fucking foot. I might as well just say it because I'm going to hell anyway. So Sonya teases facing Naomi, but she's going to keep people like Naomi under her thumb. Wait, that's a Fox mandate. Fox wants people like Naomi to be kept under their thumb. And we know that Fox feels that way. They run Fox Aryan Nation after all, where they're airing out their grievances to all the goddamn stupid white crackers that still believe that shit. So anyway, Booker T made no goddamn sense. Booker has not made sense for a number of years. So Sarah Schreiber, by the way, looking beautiful in a goddamn tie-dye dress. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, Sarah Schreiber's beautiful. Anyway, she's interrupted by Styles and Omos. And then the New Day arrive. And then Bobby Lashley brawls with them and everything. And by the way, one of the women's matches got moved to the pre-show, Liv and Carmella DeVille, because they decided to suddenly shove a 6-man tag match onto this show, which, look, I'm going to get to it here in a bit, but if you are using the WWE Champion in a pre-show angle to build up to a match to open the show that wasn't announced until a few minutes before the pay-per-view went on the air, you've kind of lost the goddamn plot already. It's one thing to keep the action moving and like, oh, I gotta tune in, I gotta see the pre-show. No, this is just proof that creative has no goddamn idea what they're doing because it's such good shit, pal. So anyway, I actually wrote down, expect a 6-man tag to be made. And about 5 minutes later, a 6-man tag was made. War was declared. So anyway, Booker says that Big E needs to focus on being a champion, ignore New Day. And so Charlotte comes out of a DeLorean-doored limo. That was really hard to say. And then suddenly, Peacock, by the way, is run by NBC Universal. It's their streaming service, and they're a multi-billion-dollar company. They have multiple channels. They have a ton of content. They got money coming out their ass. Maybe not quite as much money as Disney, but they got a lot of money to spend on a whole lot of stuff. And they cannot figure out how to have a proper commentary feed going on because we got Cole and Pat McAfee being interrupted and overridden at times by the Spanish announce team. I think Carlos Cabrera, easy for me to say, was one of them. And I think the French commentary team was also there. So it's like the United Nations of fucking commentary just going at war with each other and everything. And suddenly, let's just let them all fight out. Cage match between the commentary teams. It would have been better than half the shit they did on this show. Because again, they kept Kerry Von Eriching their goddamn foot. And then, and by the way, this kept going. Liv Morgan versus Carmella DeVille. This was hilarious. It eventually got fixed and then didn't get fixed because Peacock, they just decided to cock the whole damn thing up. NBC for cocking it up. So Carmella cannot wrestle. She can't. She just can't. I've tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. I know she's supposed to be an annoying character, but she can't wrestle. She can barely do anything. Poor Liv. Liv did win. She got huge pops. You know, a lot of, you know, let's go Liv chants. And Liv wins with her move off the with her move off the ropes. And somebody told me what it was, and I forgot. But Liv won. Hooray! And it got some time. I'm not wanting people to make Carmella a valet or something. She is not cut out to be in the ring. She has regressed horribly. She wasn't that good in the ring anyway, but I was willing to give her the benefit of the doubt. She's outlasted Enzo and Cass because apparently she's less problematic than them, which isn't really a high bar. But my point is, she seems nice. And maybe Corey can help her look out for number 1, if you know what I mean. So, then Heyman is talking to Kayla, because Kayla interrupts him and everything. And I want somebody to look at me the way Kayla looks at Heyman when she's, you know, wanting to antagonize him and everything. I need a woman to look at me like that. Preferably not, you know, not from 50 feet away due to a court order. Moving on from that, hastily on, because I just incriminate myself. Heyman was then saying, oh, you think Roman's scared? You think he's been ingesting Philly cheesesteaks? Mentioning that Roman's been ingesting all kinds of meat. Stop thinking about it, Noah. I know you. Stop it, Noah. Get some help. So then we get overlap with the French commentary team after the video package plays. The pay-per-view has started proper, and NBC has still cocked this shit up. So let's get the New Day. It's Kofi Kingston, Big E, and Xavier Woods against Lashley, Styles, and Omos. The crowd was electric. Dun, 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 dun. I don't even have the energy for that shit. The match was good. It was good. In fact, this is going to be a recurring theme. This match was very well wrestled. Yeah, they beat the shit out of Kofi for 75% of the match, and Kofi can do a really good job selling. And Kofi has so much goodwill saved up after his, you know, WWE Championship run that ended really horribly, and a whole bunch of other stuff. He has the goodwill, and he can get beat up, and he can get some sympathy. This went a bit, and it proves that they didn't have a lot for this pay-per-view, because this went a long time. Now, was it well wrestled? Yes, it was. But they popped big for when Lashley and Big E faced off, because we get to see big, meaty men slapping into each other. Once again, Noah, stop thinking about it. And I'm not here to kink shame much. No, I never kink shame, because everybody's going to kink shame me if I try to kink shame them. The crowd does pop for Kofi, but then they just destroy him almost, even at one point, just destroying Kofi. They keep his offense simple. It's good. He has enough presence. In matches like this, he's not exposed. Don't have him in singles matches for at least another year and a half. I'm serious. At least until Mania 39. Yeah, about that. Which means that actually we're a little bit over a year and well, no, actually that would be about a year and a half. The whole point is just ease into it with him. Because when you got a guy that big and thick, you need to ease into it. Trust me, I speak from experience. Don't question me. Just don't ask any more details. So Kofi just gets beat up for a while. Tag to Xavier Woods. Xavier gets in some moves, and then eventually hot tag to Big E. It's a melee and everything, and oh my God, it's just just absolute fracas and everything. And then Lashley, Lashley just, goes nuts. He's spearing people. He's doing some really, really good stuff. He actually stops a 3 count at one point. Almost slaps Kofi when he tries to do a dive, which is actually pretty good. And then big ending on Lashley, 1, 2, 3, and all the melee and everything. Okay, so Lashley takes another pin. I would have had Styles take the pin, but I think we're going to have Styles versus Big E happen at Crown Jewel. Yeah, Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel and G1, the G1 31 finals are on the same day. One wrestling event and one bullshit event. And I know it means a lot to the people of Saudi Arabia. I'm not knocking the people of Saudi Arabia. There are good people there. But a lot of towns don't want to go there. And I don't blame them because the travel's ridiculous. And that's not their fault. That's just the case. So, we then get Street Profits versus the Usos for SmackDown tag titles. Well, Montez had his ribs taped up and everything. And because he got beat up 3-on-1, he got repeatedly tag teamed 3-on-1 on SmackDown. And this match happened. It was, again, well worked. But I've seen this before. I didn't need to continue to see this. The effort was there. I just didn't care. Montez did get the people up when he did a dive over the post because Montez is a freakish athlete. Angelo Dawkins is really good as well. He has more hair on his head than I thought he did because he's always wearing some kind of headgear. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, who am I to mention anything about somebody's hair? But then he hits a splash and it gets broken up. And then Uso double splash 1, 2, 3. Okay, the Usos retain. Good. This is what should have happened because they just came out with Bloodline merch. The Profits have no reason to win the championships. The draft, by the way, WWE draft, aka rearranging the furniture, because we're not going to address the actual problems like Vince and his stupid douchebag yes man, like that, fucking inbred worthless fuck Bruce Pritchard, who really should have never been allowed in wrestling. And Paul Bosch, once again, must rise from his grave and slap him with his ears or slap him with a brick. I don't really care. Bruce Pritchard's an embarrassment to professional wrestling. And not because he lies, but because he has really bad, well, not just because he lies, but he also has really bad ideas. And he has been a major detriment to every company he's worked for because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Also, get rid of Kevin Dunn, stupid Bucky Beavertooth motherfucker. So we cut back to Lashley calling Big E a chicken shit and says, face me for the title on Monday. So let's get to the CGI VR Lily. Now, people are going to be very shocked by this because Alexa makes her entrance. Charlotte makes her entrance. Okay, challenger, champion up first. Lily's in the corner with a spotlight on her. And I thought we were going to get an animatronic Lily. Somebody dressed up as Lily. We were just going to get Lily and Charlie coming back together. Charlie from not Starkville, but Charlie Caruso coming back. I'd like to see Charlie Caruso back, but I'd like to see her front too. Moving on from that, I was expecting the dolls to just kaiju each other right here. So, Charlotte versus Alexa, Raw Women's Championship match. I'm going to surprise you just by the fact I've hated the entire build to this thing. This was well wrestled. I don't necessarily care about either of these two, but I can't take anything away from the effort. There was solid effort here, well-worked stuff. Alexa's a really good athlete. I've never really cared for Alexa's matches. I feel she's regressed horribly in the last 3 years. I know she's had health issues, and I hope she's had those addressed. And in all honesty, it's terrible to some of the shit that she has said to her. People still make fun, she, has this eating disorder and stuff. I wonder if she's going to relapse. Let's not do that. There are plenty of reasonable reasons to pick on Alexa, like the fact that this character is bullshit. There are some people that like Alexa or like this character, and that's fine. Even some people that are allowed out of the house without legal supervision. So anyway, let's go Bliss chants. The crowd was really into this because she's from Columbliss, Ohio. Again, had to work hard on that one. And Charlotte ragdolled her, ironically. And Alexa kept hitting and running and everything. There were some good counters. Alexa rolled out the natural selection. That was well done. There were more near falls. We got a snap code red. That was very good. Or a code red variation. It took a bit for her to get to the top. Then she had to knock Charlotte off. And then she had to do something. She had to do Twisted Bliss. She missed that. And then we get a DDT, but foot on the ropes. Oh no. And then a doll to the face. Who throws a doll? Honestly, Charlotte does. And then we get a boot to the face, post spot, and natural selection 1, 2, 3. Okay, match. Fine. Well wrestled. I didn't give a shit about, either of them. But I can't take anything away from the effort. And then, they decide out WCW here. So Charlotte gets Lily and rips her apart and everything, rips the stuffing out of her or whatever. Just, I'm talky Tina, and I don't like you very much. So half expecting them to give Lily a voice, but Alexa then attacks her, and Charlotte and her get in a fracas, and then Charlotte chucks her over the announcer's table. Now, seemingly, Alexa was bleeding or something because she had blood on her elbow, or maybe it was makeup. I don't goddamn know. Maybe Lily decided to have that time of the month. Apparently, dolls can have that. I might as well gross everybody out, because if I have to think up this shit, then so must all of you picture it, because that was English. So let's come up with why this happened. Let's come up with a reason why this happened. Because Vince McMahon's a goddamn idiot, has lost his mind, and needs to be fucking committed. He doesn't know how to put on a compelling television show anymore. There are elements of a good television show. There's been some good wrestling here. Nothing extreme, but Charlotte's leaving. Alexa rises up and yells, and she's foaming from the mouth. What the hell's going on? Why is she foaming from the mouth? Well, she's foaming from the mouth because she did an Alka-Seltzer thing, and she's all that and everything, and she's like trying to go all crazy. Okay, whatever. You know, they've done the whole bleeding from the mouth thing. That's where, like, you know, blood's put in a packet and somebody bites into it. And they've done that, and that's not the worst thing in the world. But my goodness, this is shit. This means this goddamn thing's going to continue. There's Bliss chants. She scoops up the stuffing and everything. Thank you, Lily chants. Because what's the crowd going to fucking say or whatever? She scooped up her remains. She's holding on to what is seemingly her child. Chris did the same thing with Daniel, you know, right before. Anyway. But the whole point of this goddamn thing is they had a match that wasn't that bad, and then they did the bullshit with the doll. Who asked for this? Genuinely, who asked for this? This is some of the worst television that they've done. And I mean, well, it's actually the worst cock programming that they've done. And man, let me tell you right now, when you have terrible cock programming and you can't have a stimulated cock for 4 goddamn hours, well, if it's over 4 hours, you must consult your medical professional at a local medical facility for, you know, bruised ribs and anal bleeding. What? Wow. This is the 10-year anniversary of that, by the way. So, yeah, she scooped up the doll's remains and everything and all that. And thank you, Lily chants. And then Kayla's talking to Heyman, and he's on the phone. Who's he on the phone with? Brock. It's obviously Brock. But he doesn't say, hey, Jeff Hardy actually ran. That was his running allotment for the goddamn year. Damian Priest versus Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy, U.S. Championship. It was fast-paced, and it was messy. It was really messy because, I'm sorry, as over as Jeff Hardy is, and as much as Jeff Hardy has meant to a lot of people, let's admit it, he can't fucking go anymore. He'll hit some moves, and then he'll be down for a while. Because he's beat his body up to the point. He's been wrestling since the 90s. I mean, only so many people can keep wrestling at any kind of pace, and at the pace he's wrestled, I'm amazed he's still walking. I think he's amazed he's still walking. So Hardy, Chance, Priest, and Sheamus were fisting each other from behind, taking turns. I never thought I would see that without having to pay a premium. Always delete search history and make sure to always guard your cards. So Jeff just can't go anymore. He was just slipping all over the goddamn place, slipping and sliding, astrogliding. And Sheamus mocks Jeff with the whole dance thing. That was kind of funny. That was, so many gifs that. Check that out. Sheamus mocking Jeff Hardy. And then hits a knee. Swanton bomb on the boat. Jeff got 2 near falls. Pick a body and pin it. Again, something that Chris also said. See, if the referee had just been there to signal for the bell, moving on. And then, despite all that, Extreme Rules ends, or this match ends with the most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling. Surprise roll up 1, 2, 3 on Sheamus. So I guess that's it. Or this continues. Watch them have a rematch on Raw tomorrow. So, and this is proof of maybe the fact that Corey Graves is either out of pissed on Carmelo too much, allegedly, or maybe has committed too much infidelity and has too many head injuries on top of that, because he said, we're just getting started. We've still got a United States Championship match coming up. The United States Championship match had just concluded. Then he says, I'm sorry, SmackDown Women's Championship match. Look, I understand that Vince yelling in people's ears could confuse people, but Corey, you literally just saw the goddamn thing happen in front of you. Come on, Corey. You CM Punk knockoff, just fucking figure this out. Anyway, Big E versus Lashley will kick off Raw, because they're bound and determined to get any ratings up, considering they're going against Monday Night Football. You know, if Vince had actually put on a consistently good product, and I'm not even talking during the Thunderdome era, the ratings are going to slide down on USA, on Smack, or on Fox, and pay-per-views were going to be here and there. So until they got crowds back. So I get it, but they weren't they haven't been putting together consistently good shows. They've been putting together elements of good shows, and then they have a whole bunch of bullshit in the middle, or a whole bunch of dodgy finishes, or they follow stuff up, like stuff that's really good on Raw. They followed up that great Bloodline versus New Day match that went a while, and Lashley still hasn't been disqualified for it. They then would have something at the end, and they would have a couple decent things in the middle, but on a 3-hour show, they'd have a bunch of shit. Stop having so much shit. Do less of the bad shit and more of the good shit. Bianca gets a pop. Becky gets some cheers, mostly boos. Becky was doing everything in her motherfucking power. By the way, Columbliss, though, everybody cheering for her, proving that Columbliss, Ohio's lynch mob country. That did not come out the way I had planned, but whatever, let's just roll with it. Bianca versus Becky for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well wrestled. Becky had to pace herself because she's still coming back, from just becoming a recent mother. And she's smart enough to pace herself. Bianca, hell of a strong athlete, and has really risen up and has done a lot of good shit on the main roster. Does she still have a ways to go? Sure, you could argue that, but she does have the poise to be a superstar and a hell of a wrestler for the next 10 fucking years for this company. They were split chance, and, well, the fans were into this. I will say that much, but Becky was just, doing everything she could to get booed. A new boss could there be a new boss in town? Yeah, we see what we did there. We're just telegraphing this. Might as well just telegraphed it by just flashing up. Sasha's coming back. Sasha got the needle finally. She finally decided to stop being a science-denying stupid twat with fake hair and finally decided to, believe in science and actually get vaxxed. Allegedly. Maybe that wasn't the reason. Maybe her wig, maybe her weave got the virus and she had to quarantine away from it and she had to get a new one. They had to put the weave down. Like that movie Bad Hair. Only there was better acting than Sasha's done, in her career. Moving on from that hastily because I've angered all the Sasha stans, all the ones that are allowed out of, out of any kind of quarantine or are not in high school currently. And high school might be being generous. Seriously, if you're going to be a stan account, at least have a brain on you. Just have fun. Anyway, so pace is good. Becky did everything possible to get booed, and they put in the work. At one point, Bianca does a deadlift. A Davey Boy Smith, lift. That was good stuff. Pat is really good on commentary. Michael Cole's fucking ass. Yes, he can put over Bianca. Great. One good thing that he doesn't take care of, the pile of things that I could put on this paper and actually on the rest of this paper, and I still wouldn't fill up all the bad stuff that Michael Cole's done on commentary because Michael Cole's really fucking bad at his job. So, and there are people that like him. That's okay. So there was an awkward step spot. That was a little bit weird. I don't know what they were going for. Leg drop off the top for 2. Armbar was countered. It was some good reversals. And then disarm her into a KOD. Oh no. Sasha comes down and causes a DQ on a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules. Logic. Great logic. But yeah, Sasha, she finally got needles. She got vax and everything. She is no longer the anti-vax stabber and everything. And let me just say right now, your body, your choice. I don't give a flying fuck what you guys do. But if you're not going to believe in science, especially when we're nearly 2 years into this fucking pandemic, you're a goddamn idiot and you're a goddamn selfish piece of trash. I got fucking needled and I hate fucking needles. So Sasha, hopefully that wasn't the actual reason. She just needed some time off. But awfully convenient given the standards and practices that Vegas had going on for SummerSlam that she was taken off of there despite being advertised. And she wasn't part of the Madison Square Garden show. Almost like maybe she needs to get her head out of her fucking ass. And she actually should try maybe listening to something other than her stupid weave. Because it is like that movie Bad Hair, and it's influencing her, and it's bad, and it's evil. You should check out Bad Hair. So anyway, yeah, I would like to say also that a particular friend of mine that I'm not going to mention here, but I mentioned earlier in the show, hey, guess what? I back you up because you were right to say that. And if any of the Sasha stans have an issue with that, fuck all y'all. Seriously. Understand that nobody is above criticism. None of my favorites are above criticism. There's Bret Hart and so many others. But nobody is above criticism, especially if they're going to be a goddamn idiot. I hope that Sasha was actually smart, and I hope she just needed some time away to film maybe more of The Mandalorian, or, I don't know, get some kind of sentient being or whatever that could take over, her weave. The weave that was all that, it was the source of her powers, like Samson, but the hair got cut off, and now Sasha is suddenly free to do what she wants, and then we put the brain slug back on her hair. What am I on about? No fucking idea. So, it's a brawl, and Becky's just like kind of doing this and everything, and then Sasha beats her up. Here's a question. Why didn't we just have Bianca win the title back from Becky, and then we go to Sasha and Bianca. Nothing against Becky. I don't think that Becky needed a long title reign. I mean, I get it. They kind of wrote themselves into a goddamn corner, and it was a mess. So anyway, NXT 2.0 is all about the women, and it's still Price is Right wrestling, and I fucking hate it. Nothing against the women. I hope the women go out there and kill it. So, the champ was out first. Roman Reigns was out first. Maybe he wanted to come out first because he got earlier head at the table. The demon entrance is still Finn, and he has a spiky helmet. No, it's just Finn, but he's got a new hat. Basically it. Malibu Finzy. There we go. That's what I'm going to start calling him. So, Roman with Heyman versus the Demon Finn Balor Extreme Rules match for the Universal Championship. Let me just say, once again, this was pretty goddamn good, even though it was goofy. Really comical, because the Finn Demon getup is really cool looking. It's still Finn in makeup. I'm sorry. That's all it is. It's impressive looking. He is a very good wrestler. He's in incredible shape. And the fact that he's 40, you can tell that, like, he's world traveled as far as, like, his New Japan work, his other stuff. He still is really, well, my point is he's in incredible shape as far as being able to carry any brand for another 5 years, because he's basically been injury-free. My thing is if he keeps doing stuff like this, he might as well just leave, when his contract's up and go back to either New Japan or AEW or somewhere, because I don't know what else he can do in WWE. He's been there for a while, and he's a great spokesperson for them when they want to use him. But let's just get to a bunch of kendo sticks taped together. It's Super Kendo Stick Party! And Finn pulled out a table, and then Roman said, no tables tonight. Roman's main thing with this match was just trolling the goddamn audience. You couldn't have turned Roman heel 6 fucking years ago. That's what they should have done. I'm not saying this would have worked for 6 fucking years, but my God, this is great shit. This is the kind of Roman Reigns that we knew was inside him. We knew what was buried deep inside the tribal chief. Stop thinking about it, Noah. I know you're thinking about it. So, oh, by the way, Liv, stop thinking about it, Kier. I know you're thinking about it. Stop, get some help. So, post spot, that looked kind of painful with the drive-by. And then into the crowd. Roman gets a mask and puts it on because he's got that compromised immune system. But also, he's being smart. It looked badass. And he's also being smart. Taking a look at some of that crowd, I go, man, some of y'all motherfuckers need to wear masks. Like, preferably the plastic ones. Draw the strings until you start seeing colors. And that's how you know it's working. Anyway, anti-maskers can fuck the hell off. So, table spots. Roman plants Finn on his own wood. Never thought I'd see that without having to pay another premium. So, Roman trash talks, he gets a spear, and then Finn low blows him like Roman has low blowed people before on their finish. But since there is no DQ, there we go. And then Roman's doing more trash talk, even though he's like, oh God, this stomp, the Usos stop this. They get the table and everything. And then Finn beats him up. The announcer's table just prolapses right in front of him. And this is going good. It's going good. And then spear through the goddamn barricade. Good shit. Okay. Finn's out. Roman's out. What's going to happen? Brock's going to come out. Somebody's going to come up. Heyman's going to do a shooting star press. Would have popped for that last one. And he would have popped too, because there's no fucking way he would have been able to do any of that. And then Finn's laying out and he's all blah, 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 that kind of stuff. And then they play the music and he's boom, 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 boom. They're doing the heart thing. And suddenly he starts convulsing. He comes back to life. So, okay, we've just given the Fiend superpower bullshit and Undertaker superpower bullshit to him. Okay, they've never done this before. There's no reason for them to do that stuff. And this is where everything went off the fucking rails. One, the stupid red lights. I'm like, oh, great. They got rid of the Fiend and kept the stupid red light. The music keeps playing. He puts Roman through a goddamn table, throws him back in the ring. And then there's all this smoke and everything from the corner where he usually could rise up and do this. And then he's going to do the coup de grace. And then the rope breaks. And he's selling his knee. I mean, I thought he was legit hurt. And then spear for 3. What? That's why this fucking company is in the goddamn shape it's in. Because of fucking bullshit like this. They had a match that could have fucking worked. They had a match that was working. I'm not saying that Roman, could have won clean. They already fucked that up when the Usos interfered. But you could have done another melee and then, okay, you do that. No, let's have the rope break, and then Roman's looking up like, what the hell's going on? Is it going to be The Fiend coming back? I mean, I very much doubt it. Is it going to be somebody else? Is it going to be The Rock, with spoopy powers and everything? Is he going to use the powers of his Magic Johnson? Which really probably, by the way, Magic Johnson was originally going to provide, kitchen aids to people, and then they found out they were from him. Moving hastily on from that, this was embarrassing. Absolutely fucking embarrassing. One of the worst goddamn finishes I've seen. Congratulations for outdoing AEW Revolution when I killed that the end of that pay-per-view, and I still will. This is worse. WWE should know fucking better. Although, remember, is the finish. Good job, Vince. Will I tune in for Raw? Will I tune in for NXT? Will I tune in for SmackDown? Will I tune in for future pay-per-views? Yes. But man, my interest is just so goddamn low. It's gotten to the point where I just keep cracking jokes and I don't give a shit. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.